I'm going to start with my biggest burning question, which is kind of also my silliest question, but I'm a cat lover, so I need to know what happened to its leg?
Oh, he had a slight little fracture.
Is he okay now?
Yeah. The funny thing is, if you look, because someone asked, well, is he still hurt? Because there's a lot of time goes by and he still has the thing. But it was really short-lived, but we filmed all the cat stuff. So it's a continuity error, really. It's like, oh, what happened to little...
I'm just glad to know he's okay.
Yeah, Twigs. What was his leg? But no, he's fine.
Okay, good. Now I can
no
sleep.
animals were harmed.
Now I can sleep easy at night just because I had the answer to that question.
That cat was so cool. We loved him. He was around for rehearsals. New Orleans is a real cat town. So they're just everywhere and,
I feel like one of my favorite things in a performance is when I can tell that the actor truly is an animal person, because the way that cat is just like cuddled up against Glen, I'm like, this connection is real. I believe this chemistry.
Yeah, we didn't have to drug the cat to, or how sometimes to get an animal performance, it's manipulation. But no, that cat
pure love right there.
Absolutely.
I love how I'm going from that to this, but I have a massive, big personal career question for you. What is something about your filmmaking process that has stayed the same since day one? But then can you also tell me something new you've started doing recently, especially given how the industry and viewer habits have evolved?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think much has changed, really. I mean, to me, it's the same. That's kind of what my movie's about. You're sort of stuck with yourself. This is my personality. This is how I like to work. I'm stuck with myself. Other people could work very differently for different reasons, different personalities. But, it's kind of the same in my world. But it really is. The industry changes, everything's shifting. It's always been pretty volatile, but just like life, we're all trying to keep it normal and in a world we can process and deal with. So, but I don't know. Yeah, things are always changing and staying the same at the same time. So
is that true with every aspect of life?
That's how we feel. Yeah, it's no different.
Well, for what it's worth, keep it the same. You keep the bar so damn high, and I'm always going to keep coming back for more.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, you keep pushing yourself. That's for sure. Haven't let up.
What's a new way you pushed yourself on this particular film that you've never done before?
It's just what was required. The film to pull it off. The thing was so intricate. It was so plotty, a little different from me. It was just like, how to paint these characters in a corner and get out of it. It was like a little trap, Agatha Christie. It's like, it's usually I don't do things so meticulously plotted, but to be effective, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And it's going to hopefully work. So it was it's a fun kind of, I don't know. I just call it trap. The walls were closing in on these two people. Hopefully, we care about, and how the hell are they going to get out of it?
Very, very effective in that respect. Of course, I have to ask about working with Glen. You have known him since he was a teenager. You are well aware of how damn talented he is. But is there anything you saw him do on this set that made even you go I knew you were good, but I never realized you were capable of that?
Oh, I was seeing that in early, just working with him, rehearsals. I was just so impressed with Glen's focus and determination and he's just such a great creative partner. He's so funny, he's smart, he's a good guy, Like any movie star, what makes a movie star? Someone you kind of want to be around. Glen, you like being around him. Just for all those reasons. He's just a great guy. Being
a movie star is a really big deal. And I know everyone was joking, it's the year of Glen, but it really is. And whoever has the star power can kind of change the shape of the industry going forward. So what is it about Glen's meteoric rise right now that not only is good for him, but you think could change film and television for the better?
Yeah, I always say if actors are more picky, if they really tried to raise the bar into adult filmmaking or take on complex and good characters, don't just, you can have an effect, If Leonardo DiCaprio wants to do a movie, it might more likely happen than not. What does he want to do? Oh, if Glen can be in that category, that's good. That's where good movies come from.
I feel like you're speaking something into existence, because aren't they working together on that Captain Planet movie?
Oh, I don't know.
I hope you just manifested something that you weren't even aware of right now, because I want that movie, and I think Glen's writing it.
Okay.
I want that to happen. Question about the real Gary Johnson, because you fit a lot into this movie, but it's only 1 2-hour movie. So is there anything you learned about him that might not necessarily be seen or heard directly in the film, but you held tight to it, and now we can feel it informing the production?
Oh, if we could have got into Gary's personal life a little more, he's a big gardener too. He would have, he had the Zen garden kind
You
of
got
thing.
that in there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Not so much the gardening. We got the birds, the animals, the cats, and but yeah, he's a complex, kind of beautiful person, so complex person, Vietnam vet, had been through a lot. So I don't know. Fascinating guy. He was a great character for Glenn and I to rally around because he contained the multitudes,
I could have watched every single layer of him for
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
maybe a follow-up documentary.
Maybe,
to
yeah.
give a little more.
Who was
now
Gary
I'm getting,
Johnson? I
maybe
talked
now
to
I'm
a lot
getting
of
greedy.
people who worked with him, the DAs, and oh yeah, Gary was the best. By the time it came to trial, it was always, he had the best evidence, so organized. You could always a conviction.
So in the movie with Glenn playing Gary, we also see like a multitude of the different personas that he came up with. And given the fact that Glenn seems to have endless range to me, it was making me wonder, is there any particular persona that you came up with that didn't make the final cut of the film?
We had a few on paper. We were going through quite a few, and we cut a couple of them on paper. But everything we filmed made it into the movie. Even as we were filming it, well, if one doesn't work, if it's too big, but no, they're all in the movie. That's a tribute to Glenn, who, like I said, he kind of went off the deep end with that and really rock and rolled with those characters.
I like how hard he went in that direction.
Yeah.
I'll end with a question that I actually asked you in this very hotel 8 years ago. I love Dazed and Confused. I love Everybody Wants Some. Just in case anybody doesn't know, Everybody Wants Some is a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused.
My college comedy, yeah.
Have you put any more thought into turning it into a trilogy and what chapter 3 might be?
God, one was high school, one was college. What's next? I was like I kind of do have a story that takes place in Austin in the mid-'80s. It's just like mid-'20s punk scene, but it's not as institutional. High school's an institution, college is an institution. This is just more freewheeling. So I don't know if that would fit into the official trilogy, but for now, those two are definitely sister films in my mind. But I Everybody Wants Some to me is the better movie. Technically, I love the characters in both, but I was just a better filmmaker by then, I feel.
I feel like the one that I like the most changes depending on like my mood, what I'm going through in life.
I broke it down when I made Dazed. I was conflicted because high school was conflicted. Mm-hmm. College, I was doing that. I was like, oh, this was all fun. I love the freedom of being. I like the film's more relaxed, more fun because it's just pure fun. High school is more conflicted to me. So college is better. Kids out there, college is more fun than high school. You want to be progressing in this world, not going back. So. Well, freedom.
Whether it's more of that or anything else you want to do, I am here for it. Congratulations, and thank you for Hitman.